Hi everyone, Jeffy here, and welcome back to Around the World in Many Days. Today's episode is number 17 and is titled Round and Round the World. So we are taking a little break from cryptic crosswords and doing something else now. So today we have a circular crossword, and in the next episode something even weirder. Let's dive in and see what Gladys writes us this time. So, dear puzzling, today's puzzle is a circular crossword with overlapping answers. Answers in all directions can share any number of letters with the preceding answer and must share at least one. Answer lengths have been given, but keep in mind that these are standard crossword clues, not cryptic clues this time. Around clues go clockwise from the numbered cell onwards in the order given. Inward clues are given out of order, and you must determine yourself to which column each answer belongs, as well as in what position that answer is in its column. One inward answer does not fit anywhere in the grid. This answer tells you what part of the inward answers, when read in the correct order, gives the final answer. Let's pause there. So here I have a grid. I have the grid open in the corner as usual. So we have two types of clues here. Inward, which are these white columns here. They all go from the outer rim inwards. And then the circular clues here go around clockwise. And every answer in both of those directions needs to share at least one letter with the preceding word. Now, we don't know in which order these inward clues are, so we're going to have to determine that based on the around answers. But let's look at the rest of the preamble before going into the clues. So today I have admired the view over a major city from an iconic old building dedicated to science. Can you guess where I am? Love, Gladys. So that's just telling us what we are looking for as the final answer. Now there's a PS as well. PS, the solve link takes you to a rectangular grid because Penpa Plus doesn't support circular grids. Just think of it as wrapping around from the right-hand edge and continuing on the same row on the left-hand side. I hope it's not too confusing. Now this is relevant for us as well. So the Penpa link, which gives you to the editable version of the grid, is below the grid on the page as usual. But that doesn't actually bring you this structure because the site does not support this circular structure. So we are also going to be solving this in a rectangular grid. So let me just pull that up. So we close this one. We have a rectangular grid here with the same numbers. And let me just show you how this corresponds. So this one inward would be this one down here. And then these around clues, for example, this 7 around would be this 7 across here. And once we get to the end of the grid here, we just continue on the other side if necessary. In the 7 we don't need that, but from the 6, for example, we go here and then the next letter will be here. So that's how we're going to be inputting these. And is that all the rules? Oh yeah, and there's one. So in this rectangular grid, the down answers are going to be the ones that we don't know the order of. So when you look at the clues, they're going to be numbered like this, 1 to 5A. So it's one of the columns 1 to 5, but we don't know which one it is. And we don't know the order either inside the column. But for these around answers, we do know the order. So for example, this 6, which starts here and ends here, and is this 10 letters? 10 letters. So that's going to be these 4 answers in this order. And this is more 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 is more than 10 because we need to share some letters between those answers. Okay, with that out of the way, I hope it's not very confusing that we have a rectangular grid here, even though the rules talk about going around. But I think we can follow this on this rectangular grid. So let's go into the first clue. And yeah, I guess we should talk about where to start. Since we don't know the order of these inward clues, let's say we solve this one. We still don't know where to input it because it could be anywhere in the grid. So we're going to have to start with the around clues, and then the crossing letters from the around clues are going to um, give us where exactly these inward answers belong. So let's start with these around clues and go in order. So 6A is going to be the first one. And remember, these are standard crossword clues. They might look a bit weird, as in longer than normal crossword clues, and that's just because this is like these are like rhyming pairs. Every line rhymes with every two lines rhyme with each other. That's not a hint. It doesn't hint towards anything really. It's more of a symptom of maybe someone being a little bored of writing 1,000 crossword clues and trying to change things up a little bit. So that's just a sort of variance in how the clues are presented. But these should read as normal crossword clues, standard standard clues. All right, let's finally dive into this 6A then. So I am the name of saint with fire, one who you can tickle. And we have this semicolon here, so that gives us uh, two separate definitions, basically. One who you can tickle, so four-letter answer for someone you can tickle, and then a four-letter answer for a saint, the name of a saint who is associated with some kind of fire. And the answer is going to be Elmo. So Tickle Me Elmo is a toy, the the Muppets, Elmo from the Muppets, and Saint Elmo. So that's the name of an Elmo, a saint. I wanted to say, who's associated with fire in the sense that there's a Saint Elmo's fire. It's a sort of like electrical phenomenon, Saint Elmo's fire. So that's why it's saint with fire in these quotes. Okay, so now that we have Elmo, we know 6B shares at least this O, but it could share this M as well, starting with Mo, or it could start with LMO, although like there are no words that start with LMO, but it could share any number of these letters. So let's see what 6B is going to be. A group of birds which man's arrival placed in quite a pickle. Four letters, so we're looking for birds, and this is a plural answer, words that were affected by man's arrival. And the answer is going to be moas. Moas were birds that were wiped out when humans reached New Zealand, like those like huge extinct birds. So placed in quite a pickle, maybe putting it very mildly, but that's going to be our answer there. And we have two more of these answers for 6. So we're going to share this S, and we might share other letters as well. Let's see. Some snakes, just like the one that caused the death of Egypt's queen. There have probably been multiple queens of Egypt. I know one, which is Cleopatra. And her death, according to at least one version, was caused by an asp. And since we have snakes, plural, we're going to need asps, plural. With asps in the grid, now we know exactly where 6D goes. Or I guess we knew that anyway because it ends here. It's going to be these 3 letters anyway. But we know how many letters are going to be shared. So we know this S is going to be the starting letter for 6D. So attach 2 pieces of some fabric, stitches in between. So if you attach 2 pieces of fabric with stitches, you sew, S-E-W, and that's going to be our final answer for the 6. Let's move on to the 7s then. By the way, I'm going to go through all of these around answers and only then look at the inwards. You could mix it up, and for example, once you have this, try to solve these and see if anything fits here. But I think it's much more straightforward to just have as much as possible of these around answers and then fit everything for the inward clues in the grid. So let's see. 7a, a choice that's picked beforehand, value in advance assigned. So if something is assigned, it is set. You set a value, you assign it. And if you set it in advance, it's preset. That's 6 letters. And if you pick something beforehand, that's you preset. Something is chosen in advance. Preset. Now we have a lot of options how many letters are going to be shared here. Like a word could start reset or set or set or et. Let's see. The school of more PMs than Harrow, Westminster combined. Now Harrow and Westminster are schools in the UK. So we are looking for the school where a large number of British prime minister were educated, and the one with most PMs is going to be Eton. So more than these two combined is going to be Eton here. And now we only have one answer left for this 7. So this is going to be now these 3 letters starting with N. This means the same as 86, and those words also rhyme. Now, to 86 someone is to throw them out, or if you 86 something, you cancel it. So we're looking for something that means the same thing. But even without looking at the meaning, it's pretty clear what the answer is going to be, because it's going to start with an N and rhyme with 86. It's going to be nix. You nix something, you cancel it or throw it out or something like that. So nix is the answer there. Then 8a now starts here, and it's 3 letters. A stretch of water. There were 7 during Sinbad's time. Sinbad sailed the 7 seas, and since this is a stretch of water, a singular, we are looking for sea singular. Then 8b now starts either with ea or just a. A bride is walked by father down this under people's gaze. Now, what a bride walks down is a bride walks down the aisle. AI, starting AI here, and so sharing this A only. And now this 8C is going to be our final answer for this 8. So we know where it starts. It's 5 letters. It's going to start with this L. LE is going to be the starting letters, and then we need 3 more. So let's see. She can be seen in Hateful Eight a couple of different ways. So the Hateful Eight is a film, and there is one actor there that fits this what we have here, LE. So Jennifer Jason Leigh, LEIGH. And now why is it a couple of different ways? Now this is sort of slipping into cryptic territory in the sense that we have sort of wordplay here as well. So Hateful Eight, if you look at inside the word Hateful Eight, you see her name spelled out there. So you can interpret this this sentence in a couple of different ways to get Lee. So that is going to be the answer. Either way you look at it, the answer is going to be Lee, spelled like that. Now we only have this one row of around clues. So let's look at 9a. Lots of these, what Neo needed on the silver screen. On the silver screen means in a film, and Neo, obviously from the film The Matrix. And what he needed, which is a well-known phrase from The Matrix, is guns, lots of guns. So guns. Obviously, the word these is just standing for the answer. Guns, lots of guns. So the word this or these are often standing for what you need as the answer. And now we need an answer either starting with U and S or NS or S. So let's see. Disparaging, derisive, nasty, hateful, cruel, and mean. Now we need a word that means all those things. Pretty much synonymous most of these. The answer is going to be snide, 5 letters starting with this NS here. So snide means all of this. And once we have snide, we have 2 letters for this final 4-letter answer. A large and horned game animal that sounds like John the Tractor. John the Tractor is going to be a brand of tractors, John Deere. I guess they make other machinery as well, but you had to rhyme this actor, so in the next clue, so it's going to be tractor now. So John Deere, Deere, is a brand of tractors, and that sounds like the word deer. So deer is our answer here, and obviously deer is an animal that has horns. So now we have all our around clues. So now we can start looking at the inward clues, and also once we have an answer, we can already see where it fits in the grid. So let's start with 1 inward, or I should say A inward. 1 to 5A. A social role, appearance, or a part played by an actor. 7 letters. Now, as you see here, we have even less help from the grid than we did with the around answer. So, for example, this Ethan, we knew something about the letters. We knew it shares at least this T, and like at least some letters were given to us. But in these inward clues, we really don't know. We can start guessing, look at these and start guessing what words would fit there. But we have to kind of solve these almost cold without knowing exactly what letters we need. But we do know the length of the answer. So a social role, appearance, or a part played by an actor is going to be defining the word persona. Persona, part played by an actor. And that is 7 letters. So we can start looking at the grid and see where we might fit the word persona. Doesn't fit here, doesn't fit here, although we have all of these letters are almost useful, but not in the right order. Not here. This is going to be, not this P, but here, persona fits here. And remember, we have one inward clue that doesn't go anywhere in the grid. What was it? What was the actual phrasing? So one inward answer does not fit anywhere in the grid. So if we find a place, find a place for the answer in the grid, we know that's not going to be the one that doesn't fit anywhere. So we know the persona goes there then, and that's not the extra clue then. Let's continue and look at 1 to 5B. The 1990 follow-up to Operation Mindcrime. Operation Mindcrime is a music album by Queensryche from the 80s, and their next album from 1990 is titled Empire. That is 6 letters, so we find where Empire fits here, and it's going to be at the start of this 5. E-M-P-I-R-E, Empire. And that leaves us very few free letters for these. So it's going to be very restricted what kinds of words fit here, especially these 2 here. So let's continue. 1 to 5C. A porch with roof in open air, a house has on the outside. 7 letters is going to be the answer veranda without the final H. So because it's 7 letters, so we are going to put that answer on this 3 here, starting from here. So again, leaving just 1 letter free on this 3. So veranda, going to be like this. In Australia, it's usually with the H here, but in this grid, it's without it, and this is a completely common spelling as well. So let's see. 1 to 5D. The drugs that make you active, ones like E but unlike codeine. So if you divide drugs into ones that slow you down and ones that speed you up, you might be talking about downers and uppers, and this would then describe uppers. So E would be an upper and codeine being a downer. So, and we have a great place for the word uppers, which is just here, putting one more letter, and we get fully filled 2 inward here. Continuing down, let's see. Destructive frenzy, blow up, spree of violence that's exploding. A destructive frenzy is a rampage, so which is 7 letters. So where might we fit rampage in the grid? Obviously, it doesn't fit here. Doesn't fit here at all. Starting here, we might put it rampage here. So RAMPAGE, and we are left with only 1 letter for this remaining answer here. Let's continue here. A track that's on this album, Little Rock by Colin Ray. So another music album here, and obviously something you can just look it up if you don't know it. The track Little Rock is on Colin Ray's album Extremes, which is 8 letters, and we obviously have only 1 column here where it might fit. Obviously Extremes doesn't go here, doesn't go here, doesn't go here, but it doesn't go here either. We can't fit the word extremes here. Obviously, especially where you would put the X, I mean, it would go in one of these and it doesn't fit. So extremes is going to be our extra answer here. And we're going to come back to that, but just keep in mind that we left extremes out of the grid. I'm not going to write it anywhere because I think we can remember 1 word. I trust us. So let's see. Continuing to 1 to 5G. So the rest of these all must go into grid somewhere. The types of creatures that Tanjiro must set off to slay. Now this is an animated series. Tanjiro is a demon slayer. So demons, types of creatures, plural. So demons, and that's going to be then demons, not with AE, but just E. And that fits here. Demons. Yeah, so now we only have very limited options for these 4 remaining ones. Let's see. And you might already guess, even though we don't know, like the length of the answer goes here is going to be gene or gent or agent or pageant. No, pageant doesn't fit actually. There's no A there. And this could be like sever or never or something like that, and so forth. But we can just solve these and find out where they go. So Elizabeth II had the longest in her land. Elizabeth II's reign was the longest in the UK history. So reign is going to fit here, starting with this R. Obviously, we have to share some of the letters. It's not going to be like egg. The word egg, you can't put it here because it's not sharing any letters. So reign is going to be the answer here. So 3 left. Field worker with the likes of which the CIA is manned. And I guess I already mentioned agent here. An agent is someone who might work for the CIA. So that's the final answer for this 1 inward. 2 to go. So this motion picture borrowed an Oscar to one named Charlize. Very few notable actors named Charlize. And the one who won an Oscar was Charlize Theron for the film Monster. So Monster is going to be the answer here, and we're sharing all these letters then. So these 4 letters were all shared with the word demons. And And we are left with this one letter. So let's see. We need five letter answer. So it's going to end here. 5 letters ending in ever. Can we solve it? On no occasion, not a chance, at no time, by no means. All of those phrases are synonymous with never. So N here, and we have the correct grid. Okay, so what to do with this then? If you remember, we left out one word, which was extremes. And if we look at the description, it says one inward answer does not fit anywhere in the grid. This answer tells you what part of the inward answers, when read in the correct order, gives the final answer. So we should read the extreme letters of the inward answers. And if we highlight those, if we highlight all these extreme letters, first and last letters of these inward answers, this spells out Rundeton, which is going to be our final answer, and that is a place in Denmark. Let's open up. Where do we have it? Here we are, the Round Tower or Rundeton in Copenhagen. And remember, we were looking for an old building dedicated to science, and this one was built for an astronomical observatory. So that is Gladys's destination for this time. And once we have that, we can actually add that to our map and see where we are. So again, crossing Africa in this way, we're crossing Europe as well. We were in Kaunas last time, Lithuania, and now we are in Copenhagen, Denmark. So that's our trip so far. We're making our way through Europe. We don't know where we're going next, whether we're going this way or maybe crossing the Atlantic, which we're going to have to cross one way or the other. But yeah, that is the answer for this episode 17. So for episode 18, let's look at what that's going to be called. And it's going to be called Sneaks and Addlers, once I find the correct page. So Sneaks and Addlers, and like I said, it's going to be maybe a little weirder crossword, something I call I have no idea what I'm doing crossword. So it's going to be a mix of Printer's Devilry, cryptic clues, and standard clues. And it's also going to have an Akari puzzle as well. So that's what we're doing next. And for this one, thanks for watching.